Jeff. Now we will introduce the Public Utilities Regulatory Authority. PURA replaced the former Department of Public Utility Control and is part of the Energy branch of the Department of Energy and Environmental Protection. The Public Utilities Regulatory Authority is statutorily charged with ensuring that Connecticut's investor-owned utilities, including the state's electric utility supervisor of technical analysis.
You guys know what PURA does. Does anybody know what we actually do now? We regulate the public utilities. So those are the electric companies that provide power, gas companies who provide gas. If you have an apartment or a house with gas appliances or gas heating, and water companies too. And what that means is really two things. We regulate. We make sure, the regulation means we make sure they provide service that is safe and reliable to customers, and then we set the rates to reflect their cost of doing business. Does anybody like paying their electric bill? Do you guys have electric bills, the students? Maybe somebody with off-campus housing or whatever?
I do.
Okay, yeah, do you like paying? So if you want to actually have an impact there, you can work for us, because we're the ones who set those rates. The utility companies come in with an application for their cost of doing business, and we make the final approval on what they can charge customers. So that's what we do. My career trajectory started 10 years ago. I followed the exact one that was on this slide deck. I started as an engineer intern. I'm now a supervisor. I mention that only because PURA is actually a really good place for internal advancement. If you're interested in the work, if you learn, you can demonstrate that you're learning and that you're productive, you will advance very quickly.
Roadway, bridges, and structures, the Connecticut Department of Transportation has their work cut out for them. However, they don't just oversee roads and bridges, they also are responsible for our railroads, mass transit systems, ports, and waterways. CTDOT plans, constructs, and maintains Connecticut state and federal highways. They are involved in bridge, waterway, public transit, rail, general aviation, bike, and pedestrian programs, while also helping local governments maintain their roads. Their mission is to provide a safe and efficient intermodal transportation network that improves the quality of life and promotes economic vitality for the state and for the region. A typical engineer's career progression that opts to work for DOT might look like what you see here on the screen as they increase their skills and their knowledge base. And here to speak with you from the Department of Transportation is Andrew Esposito, Project Engineer and State Highway and Design.
Thank you. My name is Andrew Esposito. I'm a Project Engineer in the State Highway Design Unit. I've been in State Highway Design for about 9 years. I do exactly what was on the previous slide. I've worked on all those different types of projects. There's a great way to sum it up. I kind of wish I had those slides when maybe 10 years ago. I started off going to school at Central Connecticut State University. I started off in electrical engineering. In high school, I didn't know what career path I really wanted to choose. You kind of hear doctor, lawyer, engineer. That could be something I'm kind of interested in, engineering. I had a cousin who did electrical, so I went that route. And after the end of the first year, I was like, I don't see myself doing it. It's not something I really wanted to pursue. I looked at what else Central had to offer. Civil piqued my interest. Still wasn't sure, but after taking a few classes, I kind of knew that that's exactly what I wanted to do. I still did not know what the DOT was. SCSU is close to the Newington headquarters. I drove by a lot. Knew that they hired civil engineers, but I didn't know exactly what they did. Luckily, I had, in my intro to transportation engineering class, our professor sent an email out to everybody looking for volunteers to be like student mentor that summer for, I think it was called the National Summer Transportation Institute. It was basically like a week-long STEM summer camp for high school kids interested in STEM. So I got the opportunity to work there that summer, and the DOT was there, and they kind of had activities and presentations showing what they did, all the different departments, and how they kind of put those types of projects out. So that was really beneficial to me because I didn't know a majority of it. So I met some people from the DOT there who later reached out and said that they had an internship opportunity if I was interested. Absolutely. That kind of turned into a co-op. So I was able to work there part-time in a couple of the different departments at the DOT to be able to see what they do. And so when it came time to start looking for jobs, I applied to the DOT. I kind of knew where I was hoping to get hired. Got a job in state highway design, and that's kind of how I ended up there. And the previous slide had the career path, and that's exactly what I did. I started out as a trainee, went from a 1 to a 2, eventually interviewed, got a transportation engineer 3 job, which is kind of what we call a project engineer. And then right in 2020, took my PE exam to get a professional engineer license in the state of Connecticut. I vowed that would be the last exam I ever took. I've been doing all these different types of projects since then. I actually, when I started as a trainee,